Who was the first Jew? Looking back in history, Judaism is one of the oldest religions that can be recorded and chronicled all the ways from the beginning till today. The very first Jewish person was Abraham. Abraham is the very first Jew because he introduced to the world a new energy, a new belief system that was non-existent until he introduced it. Abraham grew up with a family of pagan idol worshippers. His father's name was Terach. He was an actual idol manufacturer. He produced idols and he taught idol worshipping. So Abraham's parents were not Jewish. He was not born to a Jewish family. Abraham grew up with idol worshippers. As Abraham began growing up, some even say it was at age 3 years old, that he was outside and he was looking up to the sky and he saw the moon and the stars. And during the day he saw the sun. And it dawned upon him, how did they come? Who created them? Where did they come from? And he concluded at a very young age that there is a God in heaven. He wasn't satisfied with thinking about this to himself, but he began talking to others. He began teaching the people around him that, hey, there is a God in heaven, and there's only one God, and we do not do any idol worshipping. As a matter of fact, he was rebelling against his father for manufacturing idols. There's a tale that is told that when Abraham began his revelation, his father asked him one day to guard his shop where all the idols were. When his father left, he took an axe and began breaking all the idols. When his father came back, he says, "What happened?" He says, "Oh, I'm not sure. The idols seem to have gotten into a fight with each other and began fighting each other, and then they just destroyed each other." And the father said, "Abraham, that's not possible. They're just stones. Stones don't talk. Stones have no powers whatsoever. There's no way they fought with each other. Come on." And Abraham looked to his father. He says, "Exactly, that is my point. They are just stones. How can we worship stones? How can we be an idol worshiper? We need to worship God in heaven. We need to worship the creator of this world." And he began on a journey teaching the teachings of believing in a God, in God in heaven. So much so, when we open up the book of Genesis, we find in the 3rd chapter, God appears to Abraham. And he tells Abraham, "I want you to leave your hometown. I want you to leave your parents. I want you to leave your birthplace. And I am going to send you to the land that I will show you that's going to be your new home." And that is where God sent Abraham to what's now known as Israel. That's how long Judaism has owned Israel. From the day that God revealed to Abraham and showed him the land of Israel. And God told Abraham that you are going to be a father of a big nation. That I'm going to give you the power that whoever you bless will be blessed. And the relationship with God and Abraham thus has begun. Abraham now knew that he was on the right track. That he realized that his unconditional faith in one God, the God in heaven, is the way to go. And he introduced monotheism to the world. Abraham was known for his kindness. When he met his wife, Sarah, they pitched a tent in the intersection where the travelers would come from all four corners, all four directions. That he had 4 doors to his tent. And he would host people. He would give them water to drink, food to eat. And when they would ask him, how can we thank you for your kindness and your generosity? Abraham would say, don't thank me. Thank the creator of the world. And who was that? And he would point to heaven and say, God, the one who created everything. That's who you have to thank. And he introduced the concept of being grateful for what we have in this world, being grateful for our possessions, being grateful for everything that God has given us. His wife, Sarah, and Abraham opened up their homes to everybody. They demonstrated that the foundation to any religion is about kindness, unconditional kindness. That is the foundation of Judaism. It's all built on the attribute of kindness, of generosity, hospitality, being kind to your fellow human being, bringing life to the world, giving as much life as possible. Abraham's journey was not an easy journey. Many of the local kings did not like him introducing a superpower to the world when they thought that they were the superpower. The kings actually waged war on Abraham, but he was able to defeat them miraculously. Abraham had God with him, and with the power and the energy of God Almighty in heaven, Abraham was able to begin building the nation of Israel that we have till today. Abraham was committed to God in heaven. He developed an awe, a love to God in heaven, did not see him, communicated with him, but God Almighty in heaven wanted to make sure that Abraham was truly committed to God, to the monotheism, and to the belief in the creator of the world. God put Abraham through 10 different tests. They were not easy tests. God wanted to test Abraham, not just to put him through difficult times, but for Abraham to prove to himself his commitment and his unconditional and undivided commitment and faith to God in heaven. Each one of those tests were hard tests, but Abraham prevailed. The final test, the 10th test, was the test when God asked Abraham to sacrifice his only child, Isaac, who was going to be his progenitor. The whole future of Judaism was going to come from his son Isaac. And God asked Abraham, I want you to bring him as a sacrifice. Abraham, very devoted and dedicated to his faith, listened to God and took his son and walked with him up to the Mount Moriah, which is where Jerusalem is now. And he built an altar, and he put his son Isaac on the altar. and he tied him down, and he was about to sacrifice him to God, when an angel came and says, Abraham, do not harm this child. This was all but a test. Judaism is not about death. Judaism is about life. We want your son to live. We want him to be the progenitor of Judaism. It is now that God knows that you are committed to him, and you now have God's blessing, that you will be blessed for generations and generations to come because of your commitment and your unconditional love and faith to God Almighty. He quickly untied his son Isaac. A ram appeared, and he used the ram as a sacrifice. The ram had 2 horns. One horn is the ram's horn that we blow, that we sound at the heralding in the new year every year. The second horn of the ram will be when the Messiah arrives to announce us the end to the exile and our sufferings have arrived. He will herald in the era of the world when it will reach its perfection with the revelation of the Messiah. And this is the beginning of the very first Jew. Abraham had Isaac, Isaac had Jacob, Jacob had the 12 tribes, and from them we are all here today. When we think about the first Jew, Abraham, we think about what was his MO, what was his essence, what was he all about? And it comes down to it that he had complete faith in God in heaven. His whole life was about kindness, generosity, hospitality, and doing whatever he can for his fellow human being. This is the foundation of Judaism. This is what Judaism is all about. It's about kindness. It's about love. It's about doing what we can to make this world a better place. Having unconditional faith in God in heaven, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, is with us till today. No matter what we've been through, no matter what the world has been through, we know God will always be with us. Each one of us has a spark of Abraham in us to bring out our kindness and our love for each other. When we love each other, we love God. We cannot love God until we love each other. God bless you.